Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Now on to our Patriot Report tonight and a very, very special guest on this Veterans Day. My next guest was awarded our nation's highest military honor, the Medal of Honor, for his brave actions during a hostage rescue mission in Afghanistan. Please welcome to our show a very true patriot, former Navy SEAL. I'm a big fan of this guy, Edward Byers. Edward, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dan. Yourself?
I'm doing well. First of all, let me say before we even get started, thank you for your service, sir.
I appreciate that.
And I also see that besides only being a few years apart, we just grew up a few miles apart. You grew up in Grand Rapids, Ohio, near Toledo, and I grew up in Archbold. Familiar with that town?
Absolutely. I had no idea that was the case. Small world. I was just back there, so.
Yeah, I went in the Air Force in '93. You went in the Navy then about 96 or 7, I'm guessing?
98.
98, okay. So today is Veterans Day. This is a day when we honor everyone who has served this great nation, and we're going to get to your amazing story and why you were awarded our highest honor, the Medal of Honor. But I know looking at some of your past interviews, you probably don't like talking about it, don't like hearing that title hero. You want to honor all the men and women who have served, especially those brave folks in your unit that day, one of them which you lost. So first, let's get out your message to the nation. We're not going to talk politics, but we obviously are a divided nation right now. But today, I think, is a day that we can all come together and honor our vets. Your message to the nation on this Veterans Day.
Well, my overarching message is without our veterans, we wouldn't have this country. So a sincere and deep, heartfelt gratitude goes out to each and every one of them that has, taken that sworn oath, raised the right hand, and made a commitment to honor and protect the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So it's something that's incredibly sacred to our country. And, over the course of our nation's history, we've had 50+ million people serve in the military. And during that time, we've been in 12 major wars as our nation has formed and grown and reflected on itself and tried to be the best experiment the world's ever known. And so, without them, it wouldn't be possible. And I had the fortunate ability to serve the majority of my career, the honor and privilege of working alongside the most lethal warriors the face of the planet's ever known. And it was something that I will, hopefully when I'm old, sitting on my porch in a rocking chair, reflecting back, just be incredibly grateful for the fact that I had a chance to be a part of that and to know what it's like to serve our nation. So a sincere thank you to everyone who's made that commitment to stand up for our country.
Edward, I'm so glad that you pointed out right at the beginning that it is thanks to the service and service before self of our heroes that have served in the armed forces. We have all of these God-given rights, like the right to go vote and pretty much do everything I'm sitting here getting to do. Freedom of speech, freedom of press. So yeah, thank you to all the veterans out there. Let's talk about your career. 20-some years in the Navy, and I think I can say this. I don't know, maybe they'll bleep me, censor me, whatever, but you retired Command Master Chief. You were a Navy SEAL. As far as I'm concerned, you guys are some of the baddest ass dudes on the planet. I think I'm allowed to say that, I don't know. Talk about your unit, because what Navy SEALs do, and I was just Armed Forces Radio Television Service, never chewed any dirt, never saw any combat like the stuff you guys did. But your unit, man, wow, amazing what SEALs do. Talk to us about the SEALs, and then we can discuss why you were recipient of the Medal of Honor.
Yeah, absolutely. I started off my career as a Navy corpsman, and I spent my first 3 years down in Camp Lejeune with 2 Marines. So, coincidentally, the Marine Corps just had their 245th birthday, and it was yesterday, right? And so now we have Armistice Day or Veterans Day the day after. And so it was right after 9/11 I decided to join or I came in to be a SEAL, but I had to take a detour with the Marine Corps first. And then right after 9/11, I got my chance to go to their training. And I got to tell you, being part of Naval Special Warfare, which is the overarching command structure behind the Navy SEAL community, it's truly remarkable. I mean, what these men and women do on a daily basis, from the support and logistical components that support forward operating units overseas, it's truly remarkable. When you look at Special Operations Command as a whole, I'm going to get this figure off just a little bit, but I think at any given time, including right now, we have 150. There's special operations forces in 150 countries around the world currently operating as we're having this discussion right now. It's a truly remarkable feat that, we can forward project a beacon of hope and liberty that the United States can do through special operations. And on the forefront of that, of being a component of that, is Naval Special Warfare and SEALs. It was my lifelong dream to be part of that, and I achieved that, and I got to work around some of the most incredible professionals on the face of the planet. There's really nothing like it.
Edward, tell us about December 2012 and what went down. I know some of it's still classified, but fill us in. You guys rescued an American doctor. You guys are heroes. You then are awarded the Medal of Honor, but you lost one of those brave SEALs that day, one of your good buddies.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe that we're coming on 8 years from when that operation took place. And I don't get a chance much to actually bring this into the conversation. But, my father, who was a World War II veteran in the Navy, he passed away 2 months before that deployment back in 2012. And so I went on a deployment with my father, not even buried in the ground. And here we are, we're sitting in Logman province, Afghanistan, and we get a notification that an American doctor, an American citizen, has been kidnapped by the Taliban. And so that doctor, Dilip Joseph, was over there doing humanitarian work along the Doctors Without Borders kind of scenario. And, the Taliban turned on him, the people we were working with, and they took him captive. They used him as a pawn to get other captives released. And so when we got the notification, this was December 8th, that night, we had to do a time-sensitive target. And what's, just to caveat a little bit, we just had on 9/11, my counterpart in the Army, Pat Payne, just received the Medal of Honor for a similar hostage rescue scenario, fighting ISIL. And so I said then, it's probably one of the most difficult missions that the military can execute because of the parameters around knowing that an American hostage is being held, and you do not know the mind state of the captives. You don't know, what their intention is, their motivation is, and there's no time to work it out through a negotiator. So we launched, we made a decision, our command structure made a decision to launch, and we landed very, very far away and spent the majority of the night hiking through the mountains. And you remember, this is in Afghanistan in December, so it was extremely dark. I don't even think there was that much starlight out, which helps for night vision, and it was colder too. So as we came down a backside of a mountain, a way that they didn't think we were going to approach the target, and leading our charge was the true hero of this mission, Chief Petty Officer Nicholas Check, who was ultimately killed on the operation. He was our #1 guy, and I was the #2 guy right behind him. And so we identified what we thought was the probable building that the doctor was going to be held in, and so that's we started to approach that, and we were running a little bit behind time, and one of the guards had come out of the building getting ready for call to prayer. And so he had a weapon with him. Nick immediately engaged that person, and then we started sprinting towards the door. And so when we get to the target, it's not your typical scenario of a of a building. So it wasn't just like a regular door in place. It was multiple layers of opposing heavy-duty blankets. So very, very difficult to navigate through, especially with a lot of gear and what have you. And Nick led that charge, and shots started going off inside of this room. Still not even in the room yet. Can't really tell what's going on. I just remember stepping over something which was right in the entrance of the door, and that happened to be Nick. That was unfortunately shot. And so when I went to my area of responsibility, I saw one of the guards on the long end of the wall and was able to shoot him and take him down. And moving in, you remember this room had no lights, one little window, extremely, extremely dark, even for night vision to work. So saw another person moving across the floor, and immediately sped up to engage with them because they were going after some weapons, and I was able to get on top of them and to try to identify, because didn't know if there was multiple hostages and they were scared and didn't know what was going on, or if it was actually one of the captors. So was able to finally get some facial recognition on him, knew that it wasn't one of our hostages that we're after. There was supposed to be multiple, but Dr. Joseph was our primary. And right about that time, as I'm pinning that sentry down with my knees on top of him, Dr. Joseph had spoken up across the room. And so during this scenario, that's what myself, my team, other guys at units like this, that's what they sign up for, is there's no more priority of a mission than going back and rescuing an American who's been taken hostage. And so we take a lot of inherent risk to do that. And so it was immediately when I heard the doctor voice up, I shot the guy that I was kneeling on top of and jumped off him and leapt onto the doctor. At this time, the rest of my team, we started moving into the room, and shots were going off. And it was fortunate enough that I was able to lay on top of the doctor, and within arm's reach, there was another guard who had grenades on him, gun, all that stuff, and I was able to pin him to the corner he was in the corner of the room, able to pin him right to the wall by his throat. And so he stopped going for all of his grenades and stuff because he was choking and couldn't breathe, which provided enough opportunity for the rest of my team to come in and take care of him as a threat. And so it was over about as quick as I just talked about it. I mean, it all happened very dynamic. Speed, surprise, and violence of action was the key themes for that evening. So once the gunfire had died down, was able to get the doctor up, immediately checked him. He was fine, a little out of sorts, not knowing what was happening, but hey, we're here, we're Americans, we're here to get you out. And we took him outside, and it was at that time I saw our medical crew working on Nick. Being a special operations medic as one of my other traits, and I went over and started helping him. We did CPR on Nick for the next 45 minutes, if there was one iota of hope to save his life till we got back to the operating room, which then he was pronounced dead.
Edward Byers, Medal of Honor recipient, former Navy SEAL. Thank you for sharing that story with us. We are running out of time. I know you hate the title. I read this, but sir, your entire team, folks that serve, I don't care what they do, whether they've seen combat or not, you are all heroes in my book. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Dan.
Up next, time to get real. Don't go away.